Welcome back to episode 3 of the Gold Star podcast. Yes, I'm back again, your host, Jamie Ross. I'm joined, unfortunately, by just one of my co-hosts this week.
I was like, damn.
Unfortunately, Scott's here, guys. I tried to get some other names in. I was calling up Joe Hulbert turned me down for this gig, but Scott was there, so we brought him in. Now, unfortunately, we are down to just 2 again this week. Of course, we had a long investigation into the conduct of Six Star. And Six Star themselves, they advertised the big return for this show. It was on the tweet, put out the image on Twitter. We were all fired up. Unfortunately, last minute, we reviewed some more footage, and it appears that there was a backstage brawl that has come to light at the Wrestle Purist Titan Towers. Six Star just mauling Paul Lewis backstage, and unfortunately, we cannot allow this conduct to slide. So Six Star is off the Gold Star podcast again this week and for the foreseeable future until things change. But Scott, you are here once again, ever reliable. Scott, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm exhausted. Watched a full Stardom show overnight. Watched the CMLL Anniversario show as well live. And I'm almost all done with the Margold show today. So just keeps going. But I'm happy to be here, even though you said, unfortunately, I'm here. Tough crowd. But we got a lot to talk about today, so it should be a fun episode, as always. It's nice to see after 2 episodes we didn't get canceled. Every time we get another one, it's like, all right, we didn't get canceled yet. This is great.
We made it out the pilot stages. We got here. We've lost a co-host in the process, but we roll on, and there's plenty to get into today. As you just mentioned, of course, the main topic for today is Stardom number grand fight, which is earlier today. A big red belt match, of course, the winner of the 5-star Grand Prix, Micah, challenging Tam Nakano for that World of Stardom Championship. We also had Natsupoi defending the white belt against Hazuki. Hazuki, who, of course, is always challenging for the white belt and never quite getting the job done. And a couple of the big matches that we'll get into on that show, and a few big challenges as well set up for Stardom's next big show. We also have, we're going to catch up on Marigold's Dream Star Grand Prix. We had a show earlier today also running alongside that Stardom pay-per-view. And we also have a preview of the big Korakuen Hall card coming up. And that, let me tell you, that show is looking mighty stacked. So we'll break that down for sure. We'll also be touching on New Japan Pro Wrestling right at the end of the show, taking a look at some of the matches that they've got set up for Destruction in Kobe. And more generally, just talking about the kind of future direction of New Japan, of course, as they're heading into Wrestle Kingdom season as the months roll on. Where should all the belts go, and what sorts of directions should the promotion take? But without further ado, I think we'll start with the big one. We'll start with World Wonder Ring Stardom, and I think we'll kick it off right at the top of the card. We're going to go straight in.
Okay.
Straight from the top, we're going straight into this World of Stardom Championship match. Now, of course, a lot's happened in Stardom, Scott, since the last time we were on the show. Last time we were here, we were joking about our predictions for the 5-star Grand Prix and how awful they were. And of course, Micah ended up winning.
In the end, I still feel like I was right, to be fair.
You got it in the end, but I think the initial prediction, we couldn't have possibly been more wrong, although we did end up sort of in the right direction in terms of who is now holding the belts. But yeah, so Tam Nakano did not win a single match in the 5-star Grand Prix, but she did.
0-6. Got choked out by May Sarah. Got pinned by Saida, who just got pinned or tapped out to Hanako. Crazy scenes in the world to start. Continue.
Yes, not the best of runs for Tam Nakano in the 5-star Grand Prix, but on the final night, she did defeat Natsuko Tora for the World of Stardom Championship, which made Natsuko Tora, I believe, the shortest reigning red belt champion in Stardom history.
It made her 2 things: the shortest and the worst.
And the worst. Some accolades there for the leader of hate. And of course, the new heel faction losing their red belt so soon is an interesting development. But on the same night, of course, in the main event of that show, Micah won the 5-star Grand Prix final against Saya Kamatani. So another devastating loss for hate. Not the best day at the office. But all that led to today's show, Number Grand Fight, where Micah challenged Tam Nakano for the World of Stardom Championship, the undefeated 5-star winner, versus probably one of the worst 5-star runs we've seen in recent time. She ended up with the belt anyway. Now, Scott, we of course we'll get into the results of this, but in terms of the match, how did you enjoy this one from Micah and Tamnak? I saw a lot of positive reviews. Obviously it's been a bit up and down for the pair in this year, but how did you enjoy this one to kick us off?
Yeah, I was pretty positive about the whole second half of this show, and I thought this was a really good to great main event. I gotta get this off my chest now before we continue through the rest of the show. I don't know if Osaka knows there was a wrestling show going on, but believe it or not, there was in that venue. 1,400 over 1,400 people in attendance, and you wouldn't know because they don't make sound. It's absurd that this problem continues. That being said, and we'll talk about how Hazuki, brought the life into the crowd because that's what she does. But this match was really, really good. I thought it was a great main event. The funny thing about Tam and her 5-star run is that she had great matches, like with throughout the entire run, and I think 2024 has been her most consistent year in a while, truthfully, inside the ring. That being said, there is something so funny about Micah going undefeated through the 5-star Grand Prix, right? She defeated Natsupoi. She defeated Hazuki. She defeated Azumi, Mayu Iwatani, Saya Kamatani, all to lose to Tam. I'm spoiling the result. I don't care. All to lose to Tam in this match. And by the way, I want to say this. She had to lose this match because my God, if Micah won this match, it would have been the funniest result. I won't lie to you. That would have been the funniest result because it's like, wow, we ran in a circle with 3 different champions just to get the belt back to Micah. But the match itself was really, really good. A really strong main event. A good start to Tam's defense reign. And now she's kind of trying to make up for all the lost time after injuring herself last year. And I think this was actually the closest Micah World Championship style match that we've gotten since she made the the gear change and all that. So I thought it was a strong main event to close out the night, even if Osaka didn't agree.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed this one too. I like the point you make about Micah kind of bringing it in the World Championship match. It's a shame that she waited until after she'd lost the belt to really get that form picking up again. But yes, Tam Nakano for sure has been one of Stardom's most informed wrestlers this year. And as much as the journey to getting here wasn't the smoothest of roads, I do think that Tam Nakano with the belt again, heading into the end of the year, is probably the best thing for Stardom right now. And certainly Micah win would not have been the greatest result for the booking of a promotion. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. I had a bit of a frantic pace at some points. It was really, physical between the pair. And it just felt like a big time World of Stardom Championship match, which is exactly what you want. And hopefully is what Tam Nakano can continue to deliver more and more. We had her next challenger emerge after this one. And it's a very interesting one because this is the Grand Queendom, the Dream Queendom main event, that never was last year. Of course, Suzu Suzuki, last year's 5-star Grand Prix winner, looked set to face Tam Nakano for that red belt, and then Tam Nakano went down with injury, and then obviously we had the changes that we got there. Micah ended up facing Suzu Suzuki for that red belt, and Micah ended up winning. Suzu Suzuki's career trajectory since that point has been a little bit different from what we'd all kind of hoped, from what many assumed to be kind of the future face of this promotion. But we are now getting this match at Stardom's upcoming next pay-per-view. But I sense a little bit of worry on your face, Scott. I'm not sure if you're as fired up for this one as you maybe would have been for last year's Dream Queen, the main event. What are your thoughts on Suzu Suzuki challenging Tam Nakano next for the World of Stardom Championship?
This match hurts me dearly in so many different ways, because for those who may not remember, obviously Tam defended the belt against Natsuko Tora, hurt her knee, and they actually, if I remember correctly, they were moving it up to Gold Rush. Suzu ended up moving up her title challenge to Gold Rush. and this has been reported, so I'm not breaking news here. Suzuki was supposed to become World of Stardom champion.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here 1 year later where Suzu is trying to get herself back into form, right? She's been through a lot over this past year. When you lose someone who's one of your biggest supporters, right? And you had not one, but twice you were supposed to win the World of Stardom title and you got it 0 times. That's going to hurt the mentality. Add in that she, of course, had an injury just a few months ago. We're still watching Suzu work her way back to being the Suzu Suzuki that we all believe could be the face of this company just a year ago. And now this match is happening a year later when it's not as exciting. There's very little to 0 chance Suzu's walking out with the title this time. And even so, Suzu is still, finding her way back, right, in the ring. Mm-hmm. So it hurts me in every which way. Suzu was supposed to be World of Stardom champion. It didn't happen. And now we're running it back because, Tam is checking off all the things she missed out on. It saddens me a little bit, but it's a match that makes all the sense in the world in terms of Tam's story and where she's going with this title. At this point, I assume Saya Kamatani is going to be the one challenging at the year-end show. If not her, maybe Mayu Iwatani. We'll wait and see. But yeah, it's really weird for me because this time a year ago I was amped for that match, and now I'm just like, man, I don't know if I could take this anymore. But it is what it is. It's just the state of really being a Suzuki fan, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. It's it certainly at one point felt like a match that was going to be a crowning moment for Stardom's next big star. And there's still a lot of believers in Suzuki that she will kind of hit those heights. Obviously, like you said, she's coming back from that injury, and a lot of things have changed in Stardom while she's been away. And certainly in terms of the title picture, but also the kind of the main event scene in general. But it is definitely does not feel like an ideal time for this match to be taking place.
No.
They're kind of rushing into it a little bit when they could have built it back up and made it feel to a similar level. Of course, she now obviously isn't expected to be the one to take that title off her. Like you said, I think many are kind of looking towards Saya Kamatani there. But I think with the right sort of build, you could have built this match up a little bit more. But she also kind of she's kind of slotted into a role in Neo Genesis where she doesn't yet feel like the true standout of that faction, whereas
she's in terms third of at best.
Exactly. Yeah. When you looked last year, if you were to put a faction, you could have very well built that around Suzuki and made her kind of the face. I saw a lot of people mentioning her with the likes of Adonna Del Mondo when they were disbanded, and saying Suzu could have been someone who kind of took that mantle there. Obviously, they went in a different direction, but nevertheless, I think hopefully the match should deliver on the night. Hopefully, Suzu can kind of keep picking up that form, and Tam, like you mentioned earlier, is in good form this year. So hold our hope that one can deliver on the night. But yes, Tam Nakano still the World of Stardom champion, and in the semi-main event of Stardom Number Grand Fight, we had another major title match. It was Natsupoi defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Hazuki, who, like we mentioned in the intro of the video, has challenged for this title over and over and over again. Always the challenger, but never quite gets the job done. And unfortunately, as much as many people would have liked to have seen it, it was a tricky one, this one, because, of course, Natsupoi so early into her title reign. And, a lot of people had waited a long time for Natsupoi to win that white belt.
We waited longer for Hazuki, man.
But you dangle that Hazuki win in front of us, and always, even as much as we know that it's not going to happen, we always bite. And part of that is that Hazuki is such an exceptional wrestler that she makes you believe during these matches. And that's exactly what happened here. There's moments where, as much as I say, as much as that Natsupoi is walking out with this title, Hazuki is so good to get you to bite on those near falls and make you believe that she's got a chance. And she did it here. Natsupoi's form as of late has been a little bit up and down. Her game has changed slightly. A little bit more of a, she's going for a bit of a shooter vibe here and there. And I'm not sure if it's
listen,
entirely.
when you're not the best wrestler of your best friend pairing, it's hard. You get into your head a little bit,
Feel like you got to change something about the game.
Yeah, like 6 stars in here, so I could say this about Poi. I'd be fighting for my life if I was saying this. But her best friend's Sari, and if I'm watching Sari, it's like, man, I'm not Sari. What do I do? Type thing, right? And she, for some reason, has said UWF is my path, and I don't know if Natsupoi knows, like, that's not why we love Natsupoi, but I think in this match she had no choice but to realize that, because Suzuki wouldn't allow her to be anything but I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. I think it's been interesting to see. Like you say, we've waited so long for this Natsupoi win. She finally got that title, and then all of a sudden, her work inside the ring started changing a little bit. It was like, hold on, did we? I'm not quite sure if this is what we were asking for, but yes, Hazuki thankfully was able to bring out the real Natsupoi in this match, because Hazuki, like you said, is one of the best wrestlers in the world and always delivers, no matter the position she's put in. But unfortunately for her, it wasn't enough. Natsupoi retained the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and she moves on. Of course, we'll get into her next challenger momentarily. But Scott, what were your thoughts on this match? And of course, the result. Natsupoi retains.
Hazuki is the greatest Wonder of Stardom title match wrestler in history. She just happens to have never won the title. Like, she's had 3 matches in a row now. She's had the Ariso Shiki match, which is absolutely unbelievable, from 2019. You fast forward to 2022. 2022? Yeah, 2022. No, 2023. My bad. Hazuki and Saya Kamitani. One of the best matches, not only of the year, but of Saya Kamitani's reign, everything. And now you have this one. And it's just like, one day, and honestly, I don't actually think this is going to happen, because I've given up. As a Hazuki fan, you just got to give up eventually. And we all make it at that point. I've seen people compare like Hazuki to like Momo Watanabe. I'm like, listen, Momo Watanabe had a year-long run with this belt. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, at least Momo fan club, they got something, It was a while ago. There's the creation gets slightly diverted, but they've always got that. You know what I mean?
Sure, but we're now at the point where Hazuki's losing her 6th challenge for this belt, and she's saying this is it. She said this is it. I'm not challenging for it anymore. I'm like, I can't take this now. If I take it as a 5-star Grand Prix retirement type beat, then maybe we're talking about something. That being said, devastating. It's just how it goes as a Hazuki fan. And listen, I love Natsupoi. I want her to be Wonder of Stardom champion. I'm happy she's Wonder of Stardom champion. But there's no one I'm going to root for more in a Wonder of Stardom title match than Hazuki. And when she got that Hazuki straw, my heart was ripped out on that kick out. It's every single time you get that Hazuki straw. It's the best kick out in the biz today. It just brings you in. The crowd erupted for that. And I was like, oh my gosh, Osaka has life. Here we go. That's just what Hazuki does. She brings out the crowd. This match was tremendous. I think it was the best match of the night. I think it was, again, the reason that you put Hazuki in these title matches. She's going to make the champion look like $1 million. And Natsupoi did look like $1 million. This was the defense. These are the title matches you want to see her have as champion. That UWF scare, we don't have to bring it back up. It's okay. Do you want to toss in an armbar once in a while during your matches? That's fine. I can live with that, but let's not make it a full-time thing. That being said, yes, my heart was ripped out, punched a few times, destroyed a few times. Hazuki, you deserve the world. You forever have. As I said many times to many people, if I start a wrestling company tomorrow, she'd be my ace. So
couldn't think of many better options than Hazuki as an ace. Hopefully one day something like that will come to fruition, but I'm not holding out any hope, unfortunately, for Hazuki to get her moments. But again, another fantastic performance from Hazuki and a successful defense for Natsupoi.
Let's not talk about half and half. No.
I was just about to say, unfortunately for Natsupoi, we have our next challenger lined up, and I'm not as keen on this pairing as the Hazuki pairing. It seems like next up for Natsupoi, from hate, it will be Tekla challenging for that white belt, who of course was in contention with Hazuki for Natsupoi next challenger in that 3-way. But it looks like Tekla's calling her shot for that white belt. Now, just as Hazuki brought out the real Natsupoi here at today's show, I worry that in a match with Tekla, Natsupoi may be more inclined to dip back into her UWF bag, which is a scary consideration when you also throw in the hate shenanigans. And I'm not as fired up for this one, and I can tell by the look on your face, Scott, that you're also not ripping your shirt off at the prospect of Natsupoi versus Tekla for the white belt.
No. Oh, this is bad. This is not good. She was wearing War Dogs merch too. I was like, we've lost the plot. We have lost the plot. It's over. If I wasn't shell shocked from the Tony Storm stuff, spoiler alert, this maybe would have hit me more during the show. But like, when Hazuki's walking out, right? They show Hazuki walking out, and I see Tekla in the back. I was like, no, don't do it. Please be an accident. And it wasn't. And we're doing the little whisper thing in the ear again. I feel like we've done that 75 times this year.
It's very spooky, Scott.
Yeah, it's spooky. This is not a title match I'm looking forward to at all. I would have paid cash for it to be like Xena or something. But no, it's Tekla. And DDM lives forever. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it was quite the brutal 1-2 punch, seeing Hazuki's unsuccessful challenge and then Tekla walking out straight after. It was a double blow delivered from Stardom. I would love to see that Xena match, by the way. Let's run that as soon as possible.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
trying to
always
pitch matches.
Big Xena matches. Continues to deliver. But yeah, so there's the next direction. So the next challenges to recap for the red belt and the white belt. We have
just think about that, right? For Nagoya Golden Fight, I think it's called. It's
something like that. Sounds right to me.
Suzu and Tam, which is not the same as it was a year ago, and Natsupoi and Tekla.
It's it's not quite. It's not quite the double, the double main event that gets me really fired up. But I don't know. We'll see.
No.
What is particularly interesting, however, is the match that they also seemingly set up for this show, and that is in the IWGP Women's Championship scene, because we had a tag team match, third from the top, between Eye Contact, Mayu Iwatani, and Hanan, taking on O2 Line, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki. We'll get into the match momentarily. The Stars duo picking up the win there, but it was the post match that really grabbed the headlines, particularly from this show overall, I would say. On the screen appears timeless Toni Storm, the former AEW Women's Champion and former World of Stardom Champion, as we forget. And she challenges Mayu Iwatani.
Was an accident, to be fair.
She challenges Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship, and it looks like that's going to be on that same show as the Tekla and Suzuki challenges. So three pretty big title matches there on that lineup, but very interesting title matches. It's been a while since we've seen Toni Storm in a Stardom ring proper. Of course, she made that appearance in America briefly, but she's back. It looks like she's going to be back in Japan, taking on Mayu Iwatani. Huge crossover, of course. Stardom AEW relationship rolls on. Scott, what are your thoughts on Toni Storm being back in the ring, and not just back in the ring, but back in the ring with the greatest of all time?
We're so close. We're so close from Mayu avoiding all AEW stuff. We're so close. She did her best, She really tried. And the moment Toni Storm popped up, I was just like, God,
we lost.
I was like, God damn. Like, the match itself should be good. Like, that's not my problem at all. But now, like, there is a reality, I think, where Toni Storm is very much winning that match, and which is fine. Like, I have been prepared for Mayu to lose this belt and find the Golden Gardens, hopefully someday. But her losing the belt to her instead of putting over, say, an Azumi or a Tam or Starlight Kid, like someone with background
Mm-hmm.
with her. That isn't the best. And I put this all together. I was like, oh, Wrestle Dynasty's coming up. They would probably love to have Tony Storm kind of be pulling the John Moxley Forbidden Door thing, defending the IWGP title, right? So it is what it is. Match should be good. It'll be cool to see Tony back in Japan, obviously. I will say the first thing I actually thought was Jamie Hayter busy. The second thing I thought was, okay, we're locked in, but if she's timeless, I'm going to lose my mind, which by the looks of the video, she's very timeless. So
I think you should be prepared to lose your mind.
Yeah, we'll see what the greatest of all time can do. She's, she pulls out incredible match after incredible match. I think if there was anyone that Mayu was going to be happy to face, Tony was probably one of them. Tony Storm is like the one American women's wrestler whose name, and I say American, like American based. I understand she is not from America. But she is the one wrestler that, like, I feel like every international wrestler like every Joshi wrestler continuously brings up if they name one.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sari has said her name. I think Julia used to say her name. Obviously, that's not happening. But like Tony has always been brought up because of her connection to Stardom and being a former World of Stardom champion. So for that, I like the connection. But the match itself, I don't know how to feel yet. I don't know if I'm going to be happy if Mayu's losing to her, but it is what it is. If Mayu's losing to her, that also means Tony's probably beating Azumi again, which is a funny little note because Azumi is the next challenger. But we'll see. It's a big match. That's what I'll give it. It's a big match. Probably should main event over Tam and Suzu and Tekla Natsupoi, for being quite honest. But we'll see on that show what's all going down.
Mm-hmm. For sure, probably one of the biggest crossover matches you could put together between AEW and Stardom, of course, and of course the kind of connection with Tony Storm and her history with Stardom makes it,
of course, specifically with Mayu.
For sure.
Mayu, like, for those who don't know, Mayu lost the World of Stardom title to Tony Storm when she got injured in Nagoya. So it is a full circle type thing. Nagoya, notably, also not a good place for a crowd unless you have Jungle Kiona around. But just want to bring that up because that's for everyone, though. That's not just Stardom. Nagoya can be
Nagoya's
tough.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Nagoya ever again, to be honest. Yeah, like you said, unless Jungle's booked, it's not a very attractive prospect running Nagoya. But yeah, so it's nice that they've got that history there, and obviously it's a huge match, between AEW and Stardom. And of course, the in ring, we'll see how it gets on. Obviously, Toni Storm, when she first kind of started the whole timeless gimmick, it wasn't exactly 5-star in ring action. But when she faced Azumi on that one, I believe it was a collision on that one. I think it might have been a collision. She woke her up a little bit. A bit of the old Toni Storm started coming back out, and she still dips in and out of course, the gimmick, and it's always a little bit hit and miss. But when she turns it on, she's still one of the best, and hopefully in here with Mayu Iwatani, who is of course the greatest of all time. Back in Japan too for Toni, it should be a different environment. Hopefully she brings it on the night, and I would agree. I think looking at the kind of the slate for the big two other matches that we have on this card, this should probably main event the show.
Especially if Tony's winning, by the way.
For sure, yeah. If you're doing a title change, I find it hard to see why you wouldn't.
I think every IWGP title match moving forward is a potential title change. If I'm Stardom, I'm booking Mayu to lose to someone new. I am, because I think that benefits them in the long run. But I understand this is the international title. If someone's going to win it, Toni Storm winning it is not the worst thing. The run of the title has been Kyrie, which is crazy to think about. Mercedes Moné, Mayu Iwatani. So Toni Storm definitely fits the bill for what they're going for with that belt.
For sure. I definitely could see that title change. I think the point about the Wrestle Dynasty is a good one. I think the potential for them to want Toni Storm going into that show as champion, and also potentially not want Mayu going into that show as champion with what we suspect her future could potentially be.
You don't retire from the 5-star Grand Prix just like nothing happens, you know.
We're gonna get into that momentarily because we haven't spoken on since that announcement. That was a very funny announcement. But yeah, so I can see Tony winning, but I would definitely. I've always wanted it to be Starlight Kid with their history and Mayu Iwatani and Starlight Kid. I've always thought you could run a big match there for that IWGP title and really make a name, especially with her own faction in the mix now. I think that would be something that would be best, for all parties involved. But if you're going with Tony Storm, she certainly fits the billing of who they've had hold that belt in the past. Should we touch on this 5-star retirement whilst we brought it up then? Because I saw this and I just, I laughed out loud, Scott. I have to tell you, this was art. This was.
So, someone said to me, this is maybe the only time I'd ever celebrate reading Mayu Iwatani and retiring in the same sentence and be like, I wouldn't react in like a cold sweat and probably drop dead. So yeah, it was a moment reading that, to be fair. I was like, damn, we are not hiding things anymore. Because like that one's a big one, like Mayu not being in the 5-star anymore. Kind of a sign.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Obviously, she'd mentioned it ahead of the 5-star. This could be the last one.
But no one took her seriously.
Yeah,
the way she said it, everyone was like, well, I understand why it could be the last one. Yeah. But the fact that she was just like, oh yeah, I'm done.
This was, of course, during her era where every interview she was like, I love Stardom so much and I'm staying forever. This is the PR the PR tour that Mayu Iwatani was on.
My favorite part about this, right, is that I follow, like, I'm very locked in, obviously, to like Stardom and Marigold's tweets because I don't want to miss anything. Stardom retweets every Tokyo Sports article that involves Stardom talent. This one was not retweeted.
Keep that quiet.
yeah, that one was not pushed by anyone in Stardom, it seems, which is interesting.
It's very, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see what a Mayu Iwatani-less 5-star Grand Prix looks like. She was one of the MVPs of this year's one, so it will be a big miss. But maybe she can compete in another Grand Prix somewhere down the line, maybe in another promotion. We'll see. There's a few options.
I wonder how she looks in gold.
Yeah, that would be
for the Gold Star podcast, obviously.
We're fielding potential replacements for 6-star, and we have been in contact with Mayu Iwatani. Hence the pull out from next year's 5-star Grand Prix. She wants to keep that schedule open in case she wants to join. Sign the Wrestle Purist contract. So we'll keep you updated on that as it happens. But yes, we did not touch on Mayu Iwatani's actual match on this show. We got a little bit distracted with Tony Storm and the retirement talk from the 5-star. But Scott, what did you think of this? I thought this was a pretty solid tag match. I always enjoy seeing the O2 line and the eye contact pair, and so seeing them go up against each other. I had fun with this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I loved this match. I thought like the big three of the show all hit to that high level that I wanted. I think O2 line is excellent. I think eye contact is great. I think ultimately I've watched both of these teams so many times that like I get pumped for what they're gonna bring to the table, and I think this kind of worked a really good epic style tag match despite nothing being on the line. I think my one takeaway from this match is like, why are the tag belts not on one of these two teams? Like, why are they with Tekla and Momo, who don't defend them? It's like one of the highlights of Stardom this year were the tag belts until they went to Shuri and Konami, and then it just stopped. I would love to see O2 line win these belts, especially. I think those two have clicked so well. But this was really, really good. If I was to recommend 3 matches, it would be the ones that we just talked about. So,
yeah, absolutely. Stardom's always had, particularly now as well, they have a lot of really great tag teams. And like you said, we've had a lot of champions this year, but a lot of them were really good. It's just a shame we didn't get longer with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you see now, of course, they're on the hate pair, and then they're not defending those belts as much as you'd quite like. And then you see a match like this, it's like, come on now. Yeah, you've got the likes of the O2 line, Eye Contact here, of course. Wing Gory, I would love to see those get the Stardom's main tag team belts. They had a great run with the New Blood tag titles, and I'd never say no to putting belts on Hanan and Saya either.
FWC shouldn't have lost them to begin with, but
yeah, well, they're the best tag team in the world when they're running, but. We can't always have nice things. Unfortunately, Stardom have made that very apparent this year. But
it's painful, actually, hurts my feelings.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, but nevertheless, we roll on. We don't need to spend too much time on the remainder of the card. We'll kind of breeze through the rest of the results here. Obviously, if you have,
I gotta shout out the Hate Ace though.
The Hate Ace. As next up, there was a Hate. A six-woman tag team match featuring Hate. We had Tekla, Momo Watanabe, and Konami. They defeated the God's Eye trio of Shuri, Saki Kashima, and Lady C. And Scott,
the Hate Ace was not in this match.
Not present. No, I didn't think so. I was looking at that lineup. I was like, I'm not sure. I think I know who the Hate Ace is, but yeah, not featured in this match. But Scott, Shuri losing matches again. It's not good, is it? It's not.
The current state, I think the state of Stardom is heavily dependent on what is Shuri doing.
Yeah,
like my mental state maybe in Stardom is dependent on it. Like last year, Shuri did nothing, so it wasn't a great year. This year, Shuri's doing nothing except for losing, so it's not a great year. She also had her worst 5-star since ever.
Yeah,
I mean it wasn't bad, but like. When I watch Shuri go into a tournament, I expect the best tournament out of anyone. And that was not it this year. She keeps losing. I mean, she's getting a tag title match. It's her and Saki Kashima against Tekla and Momo, but it's like, you're just trying to hurt me again. And also, I think Shuri and Konami probably is like the most who cares storyline in this entire company right now. It's like, I'm not that invested in these two and their friendship anymore. We've had the match once, it was not good, and I don't know why we have to keep building to it. This company rushes through everything else. Why can't we rush through this one thing?
Yeah, it's the one storyline where they make sure they pad it out and really build. But it's like,
thank God.
It's not quite what we're all craving at the moment in Stardom, especially not from Shuri.
We missed Suzu and Tomoka too.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Well, we did miss that match. Suzuki defeated Tomoka and Abe, of course, two of the of Joshi, what we all assume to be next big faces of Joshi wrestling, the kind of same sort of generation of wrestler there. And I enjoyed this one again. Suzuki kind of getting back into her form, and I always love seeing Tomoka and Abe on Stardom shows. She should be always around when she's available, and I like her seeing her in the mix, and of course Azusa and Abe as well, who joined Hate, I believe, at the most recent New Blood show. So the
number 2 most real Hate member is the
two aces of Hate right there. The two youngest members of the faction. But so it's always nice seeing the Anabas around, and I enjoyed this one. Thought it was obviously a big win for Suzu, heading out, of course, into a challenge with Tam Nakano. What did you think of this pair and their match on the night, Scott?
I was hoping that like somehow they'd bring back the magic of the Taka Taichi Mania match they had in 2022. Obviously, that was not going to happen. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I just needed to see the spark. I just needed to see that Suzuki spark that's been missing. And I think I saw some of it by the end of this. I was like, okay, I haven't lost, we're okay. It's still in there. Obviously, it's still in there. She's 22 years old. But like, this isn't Chris Jericho. Anyways, like I saw the spark. This match ended up being quite good. And Tomoka's just fantastic. I mean, if there's anything that I needed this year was them to be more featured in a prominent company, and they are both in Nabas, because I think Azusa is far ahead of where she should be, considering her age and experience level. So yeah, this was a pleasant point in the show, and I think this is actually the match that really sent us on like the best part of the show. Everything else up until this point kind of felt like a struggle. at times. So this was really good, well worth your time. If you want to watch those last 4 matches, I recommend you do.
Absolutely, yeah. But Suzuki washed the 22 would have been harrowing news to be completely honest. So it's nice to see that she's still got the fight in her, and hopefully with a big match with Tam Nakano upcoming, she can continue to bring that out, because she's one of the best in the world when she's on her form, and everyone kind of had her pick to be Stardom's next big star, and hopefully we can get back to that point at some point. But we've had a few detours along the road, but we seem to be steering back in the right direction. Remainder of this show, then we'll fight through these results. Neo Genesis pairing of Starlight Kid and Maysayer teamed with Kohaku from Wave to take on Stars. Saya Ida, Koguma, and Momo Kogo. The Neo Genesis pairing with Kohaku won that match. Pretty solid out. Nice to see Kohaku on the Stardom shows. I always enjoy popping up here and there. We had Cosmic Angels, Soriano, Aya Sakura, Yuna Mizumori, and Sayaka Kurara defeating the Hate team of Natsuko Tora, the Hate Ace, Rina, my favorite luchador, Ruaka, and Hate's newest signing, Azusa and Naba. So unfortunately, a defeat for the Hate Ace there, and the new signing.
This match, I'm not even lying to you. This was the best match until the Suzu Tomoka match. I'm not even slightly kidding. I need to say this about Rita because I don't know what else I'm going to say it. But between this and New Blood, I was like, why does she understand how to do this more than everyone else in her group? She's 17 years old, and she's better at the entire heel gimmick and how to wrestle it, I think, than the rest of Hate.
I've loved her work for a while. I always say that her future to Stardom title reign, I think, has been really really beneficial for us.
The best one.
Exactly. Yeah, you see the developments. She's featured in those big matches on those shows, and it's allowed her to work, a slightly different style and develop her game, against a variety of opponents with different experience levels, and you see where she's at now, well beyond her years inside the ring. And hopefully she can continue to kind of progress up the card, because I would like to see her featured more and more prominently as she continues to get better and better.
Yeah. I think this is just a me kind of watching from afar type thing, but I think that Stardom is higher on her than they are on either of the other sisters.
Yeah,
I think they love Rina, and I think it's rightful to. I think Rina has obviously been someone that has carried herself for years now as a future top star. Even though she's only 17 years old, she has been someone that's carried her, and she's made such improvement throughout this title reign that whenever she drops this belt, next year she's probably going to be challenging for a Wonder, right? Like Anand did very quickly, obviously. And I think Rina, I'm not even slightly kidding about this. When she turns 18, I would make her the leader of Hate. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I think you go full force. If you are able to keep the three sisters, right? You go all in on Rina. I think that makes the most sense. It's about building the future, right? And I think she is someone who has been great, continues to be great. And like I said, that's the Hate Ace, baby. You kidding me? She leads the young haters. The young haters, Rina, Ruaka, and Azusa Naba, are the best part of the group.
I love that. It would be, of course, a very bold move considering the other members of that faction, but I think that's the best move.
I said what I said. Some people can keep doing the eye thing, and Momo can use the bat. No, I want the young Hate Ace to lead the way.
Yeah,
she's the young hater.
I see it all. I see the the newly found Saya Kamatani fan club. I see it all. I know you just think she's very attractive.
Ash,
we're talking to you.
Looking
Ash.
at you.
His recent developments as the leader
of the
Saya Kamatani fan club.
He did not like Saya Kamatani as a wrestler at all until she went.
He soured on every other Joshi wrestler in the world. He's taking shots at all my other favorites, and he's like, we're locking in Saya Kamatani. But yes, Rina as the leader of Hate alongside Azusa and Ruaka, I think will be the best move for the future of Hate and for Stardom altogether, because I don't think you can go too wrong with Rina on top. Last couple of matches that obviously kicked off this show. Here we had EXV pairing of Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama. Obviously, Hanako recently back from the United States. They defeated God's Eyes, Hina, and Rane Yagami. A rare win for Waka Tsukiyama on Stardom pay-per-view. It's once in a blue moon sighting. But Hanako, she's back. She's locked in. She's picking up wins, it seems. Not too sure how, much her game has developed on excursions. But, she went out there and she did
She
her
got
thing.
better
And
look.
now she's back. Yeah,
Got
she
better
got
look.
a new look. She's picking up wins. Waka's getting wins. It's,
who asked for this to be on pay-per-view?
Yeah,
Why was this on pay-per-view? This is a ridiculous match to have on a pay-per-view.
At least someone on God's Eye can pick up wins. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Carrying
no, God's Eye lost here. He didn't run it, lost. They don't win anything.
Oh God, yeah. I'm getting my factions. EXV picking up wins, Matt. I'm all confused.
To be fair, I also have those two groups mushed together in my head now. They're like,
yeah, EXV is like a weird amalgamation anyway of a number of factions that were just smashed it. So I'm I get a bit lost when
that should be their name actually. The amalgamation, whatever you just said. I don't know.
Yeah,
you got that, and then you get the conglomeration in the AEW.
The amalgamation. That's
the amalgamation.
New official name. We'll be referring to EXP as the amalgamation moving forward to lock it, trademarking it. What else do we have on this show? This one, this is you look at the this on the card here, and this is a singles match that at a time was on one of Stardom's biggest shows of the year for the
a year ago. It's not that long ago. It was last
a year ago. Saya Kamatani and Mina Shirakawa, and also in that match, that white belt match at All Star Grand Queen, I thought was exceptional, an exceptional match.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had it about 4.75 on the night. I think it was one of my shows, probably my favorite show of the year when that match happened. But very different scenario that we find ourselves in these days with both wrestlers. Saya Kamatani, of course, now a member of Hate, going all heel and doing all this and other things. Mina Shirakawa, featuring, it was very kind of All Elite Wrestling to send her over for this one.
Yeah, it was nice of them.
Featuring
as well as Rev Pro. I know Rev Pro was tough to send her over.
The undisputed British champion. Yeah, our champion apparently.
When I think of British, I think of Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah, she
She's gonna start saying bro. She's gonna start saying bruv soon. It's gonna be crazy.
Bro, God, yeah. Spend too much time around Osprey.
That actually reminds me. Did you hear her go? She just says at the end of the Natsupoi match, and I guess Natsupoi said this, but she just says in English, "Baby White Road," and I go, "What?"
Baby White Road.
I was like, "Is that like the Natsupoi version of Tam Road?"
This is it. We're on the Baby White Road.
I wanted to ask Six Star about that because I need to know your opinion on this thing.
We've been on the Tam Road for many years. We're on it right now. She's holding the red belt.
Yeah.
What we have never been on is the Baby White Road. This is unforeseen circumstances. We're in unfound territory right now. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know what direction the Baby White Road is heading in, but we're on it and we're going.
She didn't say anything else in English besides that. She just said,
made sure she got that in.
And I was like, wait, did I hear that? Was that was I listening to something else all of a sudden? What was that? And then I looked at the translations. I was like, oh no, Natsupoi did say that. That's okay.
Baby White Road. That's what we're on. Yeah, it would have been funny if that was improv. She just threw it. She's like, "Yeah, we'll get this over."
I'm gonna have to ask Six Star if Six Star can ever return to the show. What's better, the Tam Road or the Baby White Road?
That might break Six Star's heart. Just trying to pick between your two children. That's a devastating decision to leave Six Star with. But yeah, so Saya Kamatani here defeated Mina Shirakawa, and not quite the match that these two had many years ago. But this is the situation we find ourselves in this day and age.
Yeah, I've reached a point with heel Saya that I just find her funny. I think she pops herself And I like one of my favorite things in the world is when someone pops themselves more than anyone else. And I think she just does that her entire match because she's like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of make faces along the way. She starts doing the you know how as EO Sky makes the faces to the camera, like when she was in damage control and stuff, she'd just be like,
Yeah.
Saya started doing that. And I was like, that's crazy. She took that from EO. She started doing that mid-match. I was like, you're just going for a wrestling move. You don't need to do it right now. but she pops me.
Working the crowd. Working that, trying to get that Osaka crowd to do something, someone had to try. Hazuki figured that out later on in the night, but Saya's giving it a go.
That's one of the funnier things about Mina coming back is she's so used to like British and American crowds now where like if you say something they'll start chanting or whatever, and I think she's just forgotten that that's not how Japanese crowds work, so she's just like, and then they just like don't react like that, and I think she's like, oh, like I think she wants them to chant "We want Mina," and they just don't want Mina. It's tough.
It's you gotta be, especially in Osaka. I'd like to see her try in Nagoya. We gotta watch this space.
This, by the way, was not the genuine classic that they had previously.
No, it certainly wasn't. It was, like I say, two very different, two very different wrestlers at this point in time from where we were a year ago with these two. And it's unfortunate, Mina's kind of half in, half out. In Japan
it's not the first time ever we've seen AEW versus hate. I'm sorry. Different kind of hate.
Well, so that was a big singles match to start. So we had the Xena match to kick the show off, which is always
You're damn right we did.
Always a highlight. Xena defeating Ryan.
I think that's my biggest takeaway from the undercard of the show. Xena was desperately missed, like somewhere in the middle of the show, just chopping the hell out of someone. I was like, we're just, because you don't watch the pre-show, because there's like the one that they air on YouTube, and then there's the match all the way before. If you didn't watch it, you didn't get any Xena. It's a bad day at the office.
Yeah, it's I'm waiting for, either Stardom or I'm surprised. Obviously, I think I saw someone point out that if Stardom had the buzz right now that they had, a year or two ago, and Xena would be on the radar of the big American promotions, especially when you compare her to someone like a Mariah May, who of course did great things in Stardom, but I would say that Xena's probably on better form than Mariah ever was in Stardom right now. And you see where Mariah is. You see where Mariah is right now in AEW holding their Women's World Championship. So whether it's someone else taking a chance, or whether it's just Stardom knowing what they have and kind of pushing her up the card, like you said, a Wonder of Stardom Championship match in the near future would hopefully be something that they're moving towards. But
this might be the inside track because I just interviewed her and it's dropping on Monday. However, I think she just likes living in Japan with Daga. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think she's just locked in, man. Like I don't think that's really in her vision right now, and I think we're winning because of it.
I love it when wrestlers' relationships benefit where I want to see them, and not talking about anyone in particular there, but
name one. Go ahead, say one. Yeah.
Well, it would be nice to see. We should get Joey Janela in DDT. I think. Is what I'm trying to. You should do a DDT run. This is what the people want to see. No. Tell me when I'm telling lies. The people are going crazy for Joey Janela in DDT. That's what people want, right? This is what I've been noticing. And if Mega Bay come over to Japan then that would be nice. But that's just a side, little side thing. Joey Janela, if you want to come to DDT, you're always welcome. Gleet also, maybe they'll take anyone. I don't know with what money, but maybe dirty money, allegedly. But who knows? Yakuza are involved. I don't know. On my Kota Ibushi shit right now. Yakuza. Did they ever elaborate on that? That's it. People move past this way too quickly, Scott. I've been thinking about it ever since. Kota Ibushi just said that like Yakuza were involved in New Japan, and no one ever brought it back up. Why not?
Yeah, they really did avoid that, huh? They were just like,
This is
yeah.
crazy. This is huge allegations. Anyway, that was Stardom number grand fight. What a show. I don't know how we ended up on
How did we
Miyagi's.
get there? How
I
did you get there? We were talking about Xena.
Yeah.
We were talking about
We're at some
Xena being
tangent.
great. Oh, whatever. Shout out to
Anyway,
Xena. She's great.
yeah, always shout out to Xena. She's one of the best in Japan right now, male or female. She's always delivering for sure. Anyway, so that rounds out World of Stardom talk, World Wondering Stardom talk. For now, we'll of course be back breaking down the next happenings. Of course, with lots of big matches as we talked about. Tony Storm back in Stardom, and the challenges for the red belt and the white belt upcoming. It's time to move over to the Golden Gardens, and we'll spend a little bit of a short time on this one. But we have a big card to preview and some updates to deliver. The Dreamstar Grand Prix rolls on, and we had a show earlier today, of course, running alongside Stardom number grand fight. I've not caught absolutely everything from this show, but we have all the results, and I know, Scott, you made your way through a good chunk of that card earlier. Yeah. But we have the standings, but I'm very looking forward to getting into this next Korakuen card. But let me pull up earlier today. We had let me count this: 5 Dreamstar matches today, 3 in the Star League and 2 from the Dream League. Kicking off in the Star League, we had Suri, the best wrestler in the world right now, many would say, defeating Chiaki. And I did see a couple of highlights from this one, and Suri, of course, as always, looked very locked in. But it was nice to see some good fire from Chiaki too. I remember when we previewed this one, I believe on the 5-Star Joshi show, I picked out this one as a match I was very much looking forward to, because I'd circled Chiaki as someone who I thought could have quite a big Dreamstar Grand Prix. And I like what I saw from this one. It wasn't the closest of contests, but she brought the fire when she needed to. But you have to be a special kind of wrestler to truly bring it to Suri when she's on top. She remains undefeated in singles action in Marigold so far. I believe she's 5-0, I want to say now.
Yes.
In
5-0, and I think overall 11-0-1.
What a record! What a wrestler! The wrestler right now, just unreal form. Did you? I assume you managed to catch this one earlier on.
Of course, it's kind of part of my job.
You never miss a Suri.
Never miss a Suri match. Never miss a Suri match. No, this was a lot of fun. I think Chiaki did a great job of bringing it to Suri in the handful of minutes that they got together. So much so that Chiaki hit Suri pretty hard a few times, and even still, Suri called the match a piece of cake. So tough scenes for Chiaki, but it was good. She won with a foot stomp. She won with the Karo Ito style foot stomp from the top. She didn't even need to hit the Uranagi or the arm trap Uranagi. She was like, "This is just too easy. I don't need that." She had a great drop kick onto the bottom though, as she does, as she always does. Oh, yeah. This is one of her best. Yeah, Chiaki's making the right strides that you want to see, but Suri's the best in the world. What are you gonna do?
There's only a certain caliber of talent that can ever truly step to Suri, and it's very few and far in between. But when we get into this next Korakuen Hall card, I think we may have found a potential. Challenger.
Before we even preview it, I think that might be the best Korakuen Hall card of the year in wrestling.
Oh, it's so stacked. I saw it
unreal.
Before and I was like, this looks like a final show. This looks like something like they've stacked it. I love that Marigold more often than not make these Korakuen Hall cards feel as big as they should be. They're always the live cards. More often than not have the the English commentary too. They make them feel big, and they've definitely loaded this one. But back to today's card, and in the Dream League we had Koki Amare defeating Victoria Yuzuki. I did not manage to catch this one when I was flying through a couple of matches earlier, but big win for Koki. Victoria Yuzuki, unfortunately, unsuccessful. Scott, what did you make of this one?
It was fine. It's it's kind of how I walk away from a lot of Koki matches, just how it be. I think with Yuzuki, I thought had like the best showing of her career in her match against Utami last weekend. So kind of following that through with a Koki match, I didn't get my hopes up too much because ultimately the real is her and Chikagoto on Monday. That's the match
Well,
you
yeah.
circle for Victoria Yuzuki, right? Because they hate each other. So this was fine, good enough. This will be a big title match somewhere down the line. So if you think about it that way, it's like interesting to see them go head to head. But there was nothing that blew you away, but nothing too bad. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, good stuff. Koki with a big win there in the Dream League, and also in the Dream League. And I did manage to catch this one, and I liked what I saw from this one. Nagisa Nozaki took on Nori, and this one went to a 15-minute time limit draw. Scott, as we said many times, we've previewed the tournament, we've talked about the tournament to a great length. Nori, she is, we've unearthed a hidden gem here in the wrestling world, and she's very locked in. She's delivering on what we'd hoped. I also believe she's topping. I think she's topping that league at the moment. Also, in the current stand, and she's
undefeated. She can't lose. She can't lose.
She on a roll. If you're not already on the Nori hype train, then I'm
You're
afraid it
late.
might be too late because we've steamed ahead.
Yeah.
We're
We're already at the next station. You're not catching up. Nori hours are the best hours. Is
sure.
my take these days. She is my favorite wrestler that I've known about for about 3 months. Because like I knew of her in terms of like she was an Ice Ribbon once upon a time, but like I had never seen her wrestle until that match at Summer Destiny, and it was there that I was like, this might be the next all time great. If we could ever get her in a lab with I mean she's in the lab with Shinobu Kandori, that's good enough. But if we ever could get her in the lab with like a Shuri, things are gonna happen. She's had a great tournament. Her match with Mirai still might be my favorite of the tournament so far. She's a beast. She is to take from Dumb Guy Live. Rest in peace to that show. Shouts out. She would just be the beast of the year based on the way she
the
wrestles.
beast of the year, yeah, the whole year.
Because this woman, she goes in there. She is still like very new. You could just tell, but she just throws those kicks. She doesn't care where those things are going. Oh, you're gonna try to clothesline me? I'm gonna kick you in the arm. Oh, you're gonna try to run towards me? I'm gonna kick you in the face with a spinning back kiss. Oh, you're just sitting there? I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. That's what she does.
Yeah.
It's
that's
violent
all
attack.
she needs to do. I wouldn't ask her for any more. Just kicking the shit out of people. That's the realest the wrestler can get.
Exactly.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite kind of wrestler that just throws mean kicks. We've seen plenty of them in Joshi wrestling. Obviously Shuri is not kind of being presented at the level that we'd like right now. But Miku Ano's throwing a lot of good kicks these days. We got Nori in the Dream Star. I was devastated when we lost Katsuhiko Nakajima to just whatever the hell he's doing right now. he's on my favorites. I'm not quite sure what to describe what happened to him, but it was some sort of tragic event that has led him to end up in GLEAT. I don't know. It's very, very scary, unfortunately. But Nori is kind of filling that hole. she's scratching that itch that I'm looking for in wrestling right now. She's kicking hard and she's winning matches. She, of course, didn't win this one, but still points on the board and she moves.
This is the tournament where respect will be made for Nagisa Nozaki, by the way. She's going out there. She's putting on performances. This match was good 15 minutes of wrestling. I haven't finished the full show. I haven't seen the last 2 matches yet. But I watched this and I was like, you know what? Do I even have to watch anything else? Do I need anything else in my life right now? We got the Nori hours. We got the kicks. We got the boots to the face. I said it last time we were on the show. I'm going to say it again. Just poach her. Okay? I need her to not disappear after the Dream Star. I don't want to watch Nori have this run and then not hear from her for another year because LPWX doesn't run. Okay? We can't be having that. She's too real to just disappear. She's too real.
Yeah, I'm quite hopeful that we will be seeing her, sticking around in the promotion. If not, signed, I think she'll be semi-regular because they're giving her quite a lot in this tournament. Like you said, she's top of her league right now. she's doing very well, picking up some big wins, and obviously a big draw today with Nozaki. But I think they're very high on her, and for good reason.
I jokingly said that like Shinobu Kandori worked into the deal. Like, yeah, she can't lose to anyone besides like Utami, and it's proving to be true so far.
Yeah.
She has not lost to anyone, and she's got Shozuki on Monday. I need her to win that match. I need that Superfly title match.
That's the big one. There's a lot of big matches on this Monday card. We're going to get into it, but there's a lot that also could dictate a bit of the future of Marigold. Certainly, that is one that I'm circling. To cap off this show from today's Marigold card, we had Nanae Takahashi defeating Kazuna Tanaka. Not the most surprising of results there, but it's always nice to see a talent like Kazuna Tanaka get in there with Nanae. Nanae gives pretty much every wrestler one of their best matches in their career. The kind of passion injection vibes that she brings. This was no different. I enjoyed from what I saw of this one. Kazuna, I'm very, very high on her. She's up there. Obviously Yuzuki was kind of the super rookie we had coming into Marigold, and we have a real super rookie in the ranks.
Unfortunately, everyone's been replaced.
We got the date pegged. We're all waiting.
Rossi writes this weekly. I don't know if you've seen this, but for Shoe Pro, he writes this weekly like how to make a star. Column, and this week was about Sayri, and I was like, "That's crazy! Like this woman hasn't even debuted yet, and we're already pumping her up. Like this is the golden rookie. This is the superstar. It's gonna be scary scenes for Victoria Yuzuki and Kazuna and others because it's like, good luck. I mean, Victoria Yuzuki's forever the future pro wrestling. We're not letting that go. Obviously, we have committed to that bit. I'm running with that bit forever, but Sayri is just the future period. Like,
a real demon about to enter the scene.
This woman destroyed Julia the first moment she got.
I ripped my shirt off. And not only that, I did it, but I was on the train to Wembley, so it was even more extreme.
He's on the train to Wembley. People are looking around you like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's like, you don't understand.
Apologies, folks, but it was at the moment called for it. But no, I love that. Rossi already putting her in the How to Make a Star column. That's a beast move. She's not wrestled yet, and it's just like, I've done it again. I've done it again. Got another.
Like it's been about like EO, it's been about just like the talking about the crush gals and all this. It's like,
let me tell you.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Did it again. See it first stream.
Another success from yours truly. Thank you very much, guys. Well, yeah, so
I think we should get Rossi hats for this show, by the way. I think it should be part of the dress code.
Go all in.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go all in personally. You went to all in. I don't need to go to all in. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
maybe we'll go all out. You a big fan of what did Swerve use? Oh, the syringe. I
gotta say, no, I love the match. I can't do needles, so I nearly turned that.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
No, it was the right. If you're gonna do it in any match, it was the right thing. I ain't ragging on it.
Not that this has anything to do with our show, but what actually hurt me the most was the power bomb onto the
cinder blocks.
The cinder block, because I felt the cinder block before. That isn't good. Okay, that hurts. That's nasty business. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, little detour, AEW talk. Unfortunately, not the first time we've been talking AEW. There's a lot of AEW crossing over too much into our program, Scott. There's we leave that for the other podcast.
At this point, they should just bring Joey Janela back so that I could see Megan Bain.
Someone got to do it. So take one for the team, guys. It's a long-term investment. It's
been almost a year since I've seen Megan Bain wrestle.
It's very sad, very tragic, very tragic. I'll never forget when Bozilla made her debut and Rossi was still talking about Megan. He was like, "Pop me a lot." always on his mind. The main event,
pro wrestling star. Sorry.
Yeah, the main event of this Marigold Dreamstar GP card was, potentially for a lot of people a very shocking result and a surprise upset when you look at the card. Mai Sakurai defeats the mighty Bozilla in the main event. Now,
you say shocking, I say expected at this stage. My Sakurai's on a heater.
Yeah, well, people tracking the developments my Sakurai may not have come too much as a surprise, because obviously since that Julia match, she's been locked in. Even perhaps since before the Julia match, obviously she won those twin star belts, but that Julia match lit a fire under her. She's been running into this Dreamstar GP run, and she's taking no prisoners.
I didn't announce it to the world. Okay, I didn't announce it to the world last year, but when the ladyship introduced herself to the world and was like, I'm not going to do the 5-star. I'm actually just going to go on vacation. I was like, you know what? I'm going to toss some stocks on you. I can respect someone that's like, I'm not working. I can respect someone that does that. And listen, I have won because of it. It took some time. It took a long time for us to
long-term play,
Yeah, like there was times where I was like, I had the Jordan Patu meme ready, my Sakurai, ready to go at all times, right?
I see.
Things are different now. Things are different. She's a little psycho in the right ways, She's like, I will headbutt you if I need to. I will take a headbutt. I will fight back. Her match with Sari, that was the good stuff. Not that it's a shocker, but her match with Sari from last weekend was great. And this, I haven't seen this yet, but I just know that Bozilla was in paradise wrestling my Sakurai.
She certainly was. My Sakurai, you look at the 2 wins she's picked. Obviously, no one beat Sari, so that was not too surprising to see her take the L there. But you look at the 2 wins she's picked up in that league so far. She beat Nanai Takahashi by stoppage. She stopped Nanai Takahashi. Not many people can stop Nanai Takahashi, Scott, let me tell you. Many have tried and many have failed, but my Sakurai got the job done. And
that's passion, baby.
Bozilla many expected her to run through this Dreamstar GP, and it's not quite how it's panned out. She came up against my Sakurai and could not get the job done. We'll see what the future holds, but I think it's a very bright one for my Sakurai as she continues to develop her game. She always had, I said, for when Marigold signed her, but as much as they had the big kind of in-ring stars they brought over, and obviously the future prospects, she was a real asset because of what she brought in kind of their outside or the rest of her her gimmick and promo work that she does. She's a character on the show that is different, and it brings a different kind of vibe. If she's able to, obviously she is doing at the moment, but if she can continue to develop that in ring and get to a level where it's not too crazy to see her pick up these big wins and have her in kind of the sort of 2 main title scenes, then I think Marigold has a very big star on their hands, and someone who I think can fill that void left by Julia pretty well. And that's why I think Julia having that last match with my Sakurai, I think that was a pretty good choice out in retrospect. I know a lot of people wanted the Utami match right before she left, but I think in terms of the long-term play, I think my Sakurai is going to do a lot of good for her and the promotion. But that rounds out today's Marigold card. But it's time to get into the real heavy hitter, Scott, the real big meat, the real big business, anyway to say, because we have Korakuen Hall card coming up on September 16th, this upcoming Monday. And this is one of the most stacked cards I've seen in a long time at Korakuen Hall, as you pointed out. We have a tag team match that isn't involving the Dreamstar. We got Koki and Yuki Minami versus Naoya Ishikawa and Mada Grace. But that's besides the point.
That's the actual main event.
The real top of the billing.
On a show where there's like 3 or 4 main event type matches, this is actually the main event. Rossi said, you know what? None of them are going to main event. We'll just put this in there. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
This might be 5 minutes total.
Yeah. So that is one of the matches that will be happening. But let me tell you, there's some real big league matches coming up. We'll get straight into what many would say could potentially be the main event here, but I have my eye on another one. But in the Dream League, Utami Hayashishita versus Maika. These are the 2 favorites.
No, not Maika. No.
Not Maika.
How dare you? How dare you?
Maika. Oh no. This always happens. When we're talking,
pay some respect to the soul.
There's always one slip up that I make here. It's usually calling the Dream Star the Gold Star. I usually always do that.
See, that's
Calling
real.
Mirai Micah is a new low that I've hit there. Unfortunately, I apologize. I will be finding myself.
I gotta ask you a question, JB. You were someone that's been a big Micah fan through the years. Well, big enough, not like Peps, but no one's like Peps.
No one's that level.
And you were a Mirai hater.
Yeah.
Now here, as we sit here in 2024, who's got the stock? Who's the stock worth invested in right now? Because I just want to know if I was right.
Yeah, well, if I had to, if I was, not that I am, but if I was a financial advisor in this day and age, and you never take my word for gospel, but if I was giving the people some advice out of these two, I think keep it quiet, but I think I would invest in Mirai at this point in time. Unfortunately, we've come a long way. We've come a long way. I was on the train. You remember, I was on the Micah train heading into the match with Suzu, and we know how that panned out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe did not make the right choice.
I've never been on the Micah train, so it's paid off for me in the end.
I was never like the highest on it, and then she can't after the Himeka. I love the Himeka match so much, and then I was kind of I bought in. I was like, we're going. We got a new star. Did not quite, we didn't quite reach the heights I thought we would, but nevertheless, yes.
You're out here disrespecting Mirai. You're out here disrespecting Mirai, not believing in the soul fighter. But now you got some soul in you.
Got soul, and yes, we do have soul at this Korakuen Hall because it's not Micah facing Utami Hayashishita. In case anyone believed me the first time round and thought that fences have been mended between Rossi and Fujiro, and we've now set up Forbidden Door, Joshi Forbidden Door. No, it's Utami versus Mirai, and this, as I mentioned, are probably the two favorites for the Dream League going out of here in a huge singles match at this Korakuen Hall card. Utami, pretty much the kind of the center of the promotion at this point. Also, it's her birthday today, so happy birthday to Utami Hayashishita. And Mirai, of course, one half the Twin Star tag team champions with the aforementioned Mai Sakurai. This one should be immense. This is a match that will almost certainly be for the red belt at some point in the future. A match we'll probably see many times as long as these two stick around in Marigold for long enough. Who do you have winning this one, Scott?
Yeah. I'm going to say this a few times as we preview the show, but this is why we watch right here. This match right here is why we watch. Mirai had the audacity to drop a Tokyo Sports quote on Utami's birthday, saying, I don't think she's got it lately. I don't think she's as locked in as you'd expect from Utami. I just don't see it. So what am I gonna do? On Monday, I'm gonna bring her some soul. I'm gonna wake Utami up. And with that being said, you go into this match, probably your main event of the evening, which is crazy when you have a double championship match, double champion match, not a double championship match. But this is probably going to be your main event of the evening, right? It's ace versus ace in many ways. It's hard to make a pick. Oh my God, stop yelling at me. I'm sorry.
Someone ringing the doorbell. Okay.
I think
it's Kickstarter doing a run. come to beat me up now.
Six Star heard what you said. It was like, oh yeah, and just flew to your side of the tracks and said, oh yeah, let's go. You're just gonna get attacked on camera soon.
You never know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna go with Mirai to get the win. I think Mirai pulls off the big shocker in the main event. That being said, would not be upset with Utami winning. I think I'm a very big Utami fan. I would like to see her win some big matches. But this is potentially gonna decide the Dream League. And I think that's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. But honestly, I can't wait. I don't really care who wins. That's the beauty of this match. Like, I'm just here to have a good time.
Yeah, no matter who wins, we're getting the match. That's all that matters, and it's gonna be phenomenal. I think I'm also leaning towards Mirai for this one. which is interesting because I did predict that Utami would win this side of the Dream Star, but I don't know. We'll see. It's always tough for me making predictions until we get towards like the last 2 or 3 matches. Things can change very quickly, but hopefully this one delivers on expectations because I think this could be an absolutely tremendous match. Also in the Dream League, and we touched on this one a little bit earlier, so we don't need to spend too long, but this one should be excellent. Natsumi Shozuki is taking on Nori. Now this, Scott, is the real deal. This is what I've been waiting for. We're gonna get kicks.
Kicks and kicks and kicks. People are going to look at the big marquee matches, and those are going to be the ones that are the best matches of the show, maybe some of the best of the year. But you look at this one, this is the real deal. Shout out to Zeta Steel. The real deal is I miss her. She was a fun part of this first couple of months. Anyways, this is going to be great. I need Nori to win this one for the sake of a Superfly title match. But it should be great. I feel like this is Shozuki's first real shot to go out there and put on one hell of a show. So I'm excited to see how it all breaks down.
Absolutely. So Shozuki, a lot of us kind of circled her as someone who is going to stand out as an MVP in this tournament. And I think if she's going to put together one of those runs, this is where it all kind of kicks off. We have another big match in the Dream League to round us out on that side of things, and it's Chika Goto versus Victoria Yuzuki. Another one that we'd circled coming into this one, of course. Not two of the wrestlers who are right at the top of the promotion, but 2 wrestlers who are certainly always delivering whenever given the chance. But also 2 wrestlers who have a lot of heat between each other. There's always fire when these 2 are in the ring, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring out of each other in tournament action. Chika Goto, I believe, yet to pick up a victory in the tournament. I'm pretty sure. Yes, 0 points. Victoria Yuzuki is sitting at 1, so she's got the edge on her here, slightly ahead. But we'll see where they stand after this one. Scott, what are you thinking about this one? Who do you think is walking away with the tournament victory?
I believe it's called Hate and Heat. I believe that's the talk leading the wrestling world these days. This is Hate and Heat. Oh, yeah. Chika Goto, Ofer. I think Chika Goto gets her first W here. I think she pulls off the big win, sets her up for a potential United National title match down the line. She's gonna start getting some momentum, and I think this can be it. But I just hope everyone has fun. I just hope everyone has fun.
Ultimately, we win in the end.
It's true. That's how I feel about a lot of this show. It's just like, we won, actually.
Yeah. And when you talk about us winning, doesn't get much bigger of a win than this next match, because we're now moving over to the Star League. And this, if the Utami and Mirai match is not the main event, it will be because this is your main event. Suri, Marigold's red belt champion, the Marigold World Champion.
The best red belt champion.
The best red belt champion, the only red belt champion, the best wrestler in the world right now. She's taken on the pure white belt champion, the United National Champion in Marigold, Miku Aono. It doesn't get much better than this in this tournament. In many tournaments, in any tournament really, you have the best wrestler in the world right now going up against probably Marigold's most consistent, or potentially most consistent sign talent, but certainly the one who stood out the most out of a lot of their signings. The 2 champions of the promotion, right at the top, going at it, tournament action. It's going to be unbelievable. There's not many people, like I said, who can step to Suri. I think she's going to meet her first real match here. And if she's going to drop points anywhere, this is one that you'd circle as this might not be a certain win for the red belt champion.
No, but I never doubt my sun god. So obviously I'm taking either Sari winning or a draw. I think a draw is in serious contention here. If it's not main eventing, I feel like a draw is more likely. But I mean, it's going to be tremendous. This is the match. Like, there was 2 matches I circled going into this tournament, and they are happening on the same exact night. It's insanity. This is going to be unbelievable. This is going to be kicks versus forearms. I think wrestlers, when they have grudges against people, they kind of just wrestle a match and it's like whatever. Yeah, they'll show some facial expression. I watched Sari kick off her turn against Mai Sakurai. She looked like she wanted to kill that woman. Like
It's
she
very real to her, Scott.
when she steps in the Marigold Gardens, she's like, I am going to destroy all of you because you are all puny. You're all tiny. You're nothing to me. You're nothing to me. And now she's looking across the ring at the other champion, the one she has zero respect for. That's real graphs. Miku Ano's going to go out there. She's going to kick her life. She's going to kick for her life. And it's just going to be magic. It's just going to be magic. Sari has a lot of match of the year contenders. For me, she has the match of the year, which was, of course, the Sariism Chapter 5 main event. Everyone go out of your way to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But this is it. This is going to be special. I cannot wait. And by the way, this show's for me starts at 10:30 Eastern on Sunday night. It is a good day. It is a good day to be living where I do. I'm very excited. This should be tremendous. Like, I don't see any other thing besides this being great. There's pure will and hatred, but for each other. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be sensational. Like you said, I like that you point out Suri, the kind of the fire that she brings when there's real hatred there in those matches. But what we know she's gonna bring that this Monday. What I really need to see, and I think we will see, is Miku Ano bring that same level of. She needs to prove to Suri, she doesn't respect anyone in Marigold apart from Bozilla, it seems. But I think after this Monday, I think we're going to see some respect demanded from Miku Ano.
She's defending Marigold as the top signed champion. I'm not saying it's the biggest match of her career, but it might be.
Does not get much bigger. We will be locked in.
Corkin.
Well, yeah, so that's a potential main event there. I'm going to go with the time limit draw because I think the Utami match main events. But if this is the main event, I think Suri edges it, but I think Miku pushes it right to the limit. Nevertheless, absolutely sensational match incoming this Monday. This one should also be a great match. We've seen, obviously, these two go at it before. It's Nanai Takahashi and Bozilla, two of the big monsters in that Star League. Both have fallen to Mai Sakurai, so they really need to bounce back. Unfortunately,
that's crazy.
But yeah, this one should be good fun. Especially just beating the shit out of each other. I think not too technically, immaculate in the ring, but just physical. I think. Who you got winning this?
Nai dropped the first one. I don't know if Nai can get back into it. I think Bozilla, especially after the Mai Sakurai loss, the embarrassment of that loss is going to come in angry. So I think Bozilla is able to charge forward and get the win. I think Nanai's big Corkin win's coming the week after this.
Yeah,
when she's in there with the world champion. So I do think Bozilla goes 2-0 here against Nanai. Should be a wild fight that sets the tone, I think, for the big other matches on the show.
Definitely, absolutely. I tend to agree. I think Bozilla's got this one. I think she needs it. I don't think she's going to stay down for too long and let people get away with it. But speaking of Bozilla taking defeats to Mai Sakurai. Mai Sakurai is also on this card in the Star League. She'll be facing Kazuna Tanaka in what I'm pretty certain will be another big victory for her ladyship. I can't imagine because it would be a big, the beating Bozilla was a big shock. If Mai then drops an L to Tanaka, that would be even bigger shock. I think it would be an interesting booking decision. I love Kazuna Tanaka, so I never hated too much, but I think the Mai Sakurai train rolls on here, and I can't imagine you think too much difference.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. Not too much analysis needed for that one. Mai Sakurai is gonna be in contention on that final day. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm. She's in the mix. Like I said, moving forward, I see her in those title pictures. She's building up a lot of momentum. Closing out the Star League and the card in general. This is an interesting one. Two Marigold wrestlers, obviously two former Actress wrestlers who I think a lot of people circled heading into this as kind of wanting to see where they kind of slotted in on the roster after this tournament and what kind of showcases they could have. We have Misa Matsui taking on Chiaki, and I think this is a really interesting one. I'm expecting some high speed, some fast paced action in this one. Chiaki bringing that physicality once again, and I'm not too sure who I have taken the victory in this one. I think it's an interesting one to kind of predict. I'm going to rock with Misa Matsui on the night. I think she picks up the win, but I think it's a bit of a coin toss. This one, Scott, where do you land on this?
Yeah, I think Misa Matsui deserves a win. I think Chiaki does too, obviously, but Misa Matsui has had to take a lot of big losses so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think she gets a little, gets a little bump here, gets the win over Chiaki. But I am looking forward to this one just because I think it'll be a short, nice little sprint on the undercard here. So should be good.
Yes. And that rounds out this upcoming Monday's Marigold Dreamstar Grand Prix card. And what a card it is. We'll be, whenever we're back, we'll be giving you all the updates as always on the Dreamstar Grand Prix. And we're very much looking forward to this Monday's card. To round us out today, we're going to take a quick jump over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We won't spend too long because we have only a handful of matches for the upcoming Destruction in Kobe card. But a lot of this could impact where we're heading as we move towards Wrestle Kingdom season. So we pull up this card right now. We have 3 matches official and also a couple of matches that look almost certain to be set. But right at the top, we have Tetsuya Naito defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Great-O-Khan. Now, I'm going to shock you here, Scott, but I don't rate Great-O-Khan's chances in this one, unfortunately.
No, I think he has less of a chance of winning as I was gonna make like a mean soccer joke, but I'm not gonna do that to you. So I'm not gonna do that to you.
Not been the best day.
I know. Yeah, he's got less than a 0% chance. That's how good of a chance Great-O-Khan has of walking out as world champ. All roads lead to Zach, obviously. So
for sure. I will say, Great-O-Khan, I've never been his biggest fan or anything, but I did think he had a pretty good tournament in the G1 Climax. He's obviously now up against a Tetsuya Naito, who is not, at the peak of his powers. So we'll see what kind of level those two can produce on the night. But I'm in agreement that this is, of course, Tetsuya Naito.
Do you think this match can be good?
I don't know, because Naito still has the ability to have good matches, but he can do them so few and far in between. Yeah. I just don't know if Destruction in Kobe is the one where he's going to bust out the I'm not sure if he's going to be going full all in on this one.
He's just gonna
I think it could be all right though. I think O-Khan be a big spot for him. Bring it.
I think it'll be really boring. That's kind of my expectation. I think it's gonna be very grounded, and for that, I don't think it's gonna be an exciting bout. That being said, I like to be proven wrong. Great-O-Khan has done a lot of proving me wrong this past few months, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully he can have another good showing in this one. We also have a singles match for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, and that's David Finlay taking on Yoshihashi. David Finlay, by the way, another wrestler who obviously not a lot of people are too high on coming in to the G1 Climax, but I actually thought had quite a few pretty strong showings in that tournament, and now I'm not as down on the leader of the old Bullet Club in this day and age. We're still early days in this stage of my David Finlay appreciation. But if he can have another good one with Yoshihashi, then I think we're moving in the right direction. Yoshihashi, pretty solid guy in there. I think he can bring it to David Finlay on the night. I don't expect him to take that title as we move closer to Wrestle Kingdom, but I think this could be a good one. Scott, what do you make of this one?
As I like to call Yoshihashi, that's the working man's wrestler right there. He got kept out of the G1, but what did he do? He instantly got himself a title match. I think this should be pretty good. I'm a Yoshihashi guy. What can I say? I'm not a working man because I got laid off. But to ruin my joke, but I think this should be pretty good, and I'm looking forward to David Finlay. Again, I think proving that he's capable of the spot he's in. So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm. And then the last match, at least confirmed from what I have here right in front of me, is for the Never Openweight Championship. And we have Henare, who recently defended that title against Hiromu Takahashi. He's taken on another Los Ingobernables de Japón member, Shingo Takagi, in a match that we've seen many a time. And at one point, Dave Meltzer, I believe, gave it like 5.75
Yeah,
stars.
it's crazy. It was
That was
crazy.
because that was before. That was great because Henare had the G1 run that a lot of people really liked because he had that match with Mikey Nichols that was crazy. But that was before that, so that was that was it. That was even before Henare was like cool. So fair play to Dave trying to get ahead of the.
I personally wouldn't call Henare cool, but
well, before he was having a few good matches, and he's not the most popular character. Yeah. But yeah, I was interested to see his never title run because, like I say, I liked a lot of his work. In recent months, but I haven't really been blown away with what he's been delivering since he won the title. That being said, he's wrestling Shingo Takagi, so I fancy his chances to have a pretty strong one on the night. And obviously they've done the business before many a time. Interesting to see if Shingo picks up that belt here. Where they pull the plug on this Henare thing early. Shingo always is, it's interesting because it feels like the ship sailed and they're not going to do it. But Shingo should be in the mix for New Japan at all, in a similar sense to Shuri in Stardom, in the sense that he's one of the best in the world, but he's just not presented as such. I feel like Shingo is going to win this title, and he will not be in the in the world title mix as we head towards Wrestle Kingdom. What do you think? Do you think Hanare's got a chance to retain in here?
I think they need to stop doing this match. I feel like I've watched this match like 100 times in the past year. They did this with Shingo and Taichi too. They just kept running it until it was like, I don't know. It's really weird. That being said, Hiromu should have won this belt. That being said, I think Shingo probably wins. I think it's a good time to make the switch again. Otherwise, you kind of play with the idea of Henare going into Wrestle Kingdom as champion, and I don't think we're doing that. Because the Never Openweight usually gets a big singles match, right? A big hard hitting, two tough guy singles match. I just don't, unless they do the rematch again, which wouldn't be crazy for them considering how many times we've seen Shingo and Tama Tonga last year. What's his nickname in WWE? The
MFT.
I always call him the Infamous, but that's
never elaborated on what that stands for.
yeah, not everyone could be the infamous Tonga Loa. So,
the infamous,
the infamous. But this should be good, and I think Shingo winning. I would like to see it followed through with a big title defense against. I thought I had someone. I don't got anyone. You would think. Oh no! I know who. The returning Ryohei Oiwa.
Ooh. Well, it's a good thing you bring up Mr. Oiwa because next up, there's a couple of other matches that are going to be on this card, but we don't have too many others confirmed as of right now. What we do have confirmed to close out Destruction in Kobe is that TMDK will be introducing a new member. Now, as you just mentioned, a lot of people are expecting, pretty much it seems nailed on amongst the fan base that this is going to be the returning Ryohei Oiwa, who has of course been on an excursion in Pro Wrestling Noah. I love wrestlers from New Japan going on an excursion in other Japanese promotions because why are you sending them to like Rev Pro? What's going on there? It's like, I know a few of them have turned out all right in the end, but if you can send them to Noah, some of them, not all. Well, it's for another time. But Ryohei Oiwa has been in Pro Wrestling Noah, and I've very much enjoyed his work. He was, of course, alongside Kaito Kiyomiya for a big bulk of his excursion over there, but then turned on him, and they had their final match together today. And I haven't watched that match quite yet, but I heard good things, and of course, he's been delivering in Noah. He's also been very, Noah seemed to be very behind him. They like having him over there, and I'm not surprised, you know, because he's been doing good stuff. But it seems like he's going to be brought back in to New Japan Pro Wrestling as TMDK's ex. The only other name I've seen mentioned for this spot, and it was because Zack Sabre Jr. heavily emphasized the X when he did the X. People think it's going to be Robbie X from Rev Pro.
God, no. God.
I've seen a lot of BritRest fans mentioning Robbie X. El Phantasmo talked about him coming over to New Japan recently. I think they were in a CMLL match together. I'm not the keenest on this potential introduction to TMDK. I don't think this is quite what the faction needs right now. I'm not sure if this is what New Japan Pro Wrestling needs right now. But I'm not too worried because I'm pretty sure that's Ryo Heiwa. So forget what I just said. I think he's in. And also, it'll be very good to see Oiwa and Fujita in the same fashion. I think that's very exciting for New Japan Pro Wrestling and for their development, because I think at some point those two are going to come to a head and we're going to have a rivalry for the ages in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Scott, I assume you're also on the Oiwa hype train. What are your thoughts on the big man back?
Am I? You can have your Yoda Sujis. You can have your Shota Umanos, even though I wouldn't recommend it. You can have your Yuya Uemoras. You can have your... Is that it? Oh, Ren Naratas. I don't think you can have your other... You can have your... well, I like Bolton Oleg, so I'm not going to include him in this.
Yeah,
however, not too much of Bolton Oleg. I'm a big Oleg believer. You can have all those guys. When it comes to the young lion crop of talent these past couple of years, give me Oiwa. That's my guy. He's the one. He's the one. Oh, I can't wait for him to come back. I put him in right in the world title match, but that's not happening if he's joining the Young Punks. So that's tough. But I think he has all the potential to be the man, to be the man of New Japan. I know Yuya Uemura is kind of the favorite after a great G1 run, but listen, that guy's missing a shoulder or whatever. He's got to get back. He's got to go back to the lab, fix himself, and then we'll have that conversation. And I know people love Yota Tsuji. I know you love Yota Tsuji. Ryohei Oiwa didn't have to go to Rev Pro to learn his craft. He went to Pro Wrestling Noah. Okay? And I'm not saying Noah's perfect. Okay? It's not. But it sure is better. It sure is better. And I think he's going to come back an absolute beast. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited. And I think him and Young Punks is pretty... What do they call TMDK? I always call them Young Punks.
Yeah. TMDK.
I think that's fun, but I'm looking forward to it. I think you give him the keys to the kingdom, Wrestle Kingdom, and you don't wait too long. I think he's a guy well worth it. If he's not gonna be in the world title match, or I'm sure he won't be in the world title match, I think him versus Shingo, biggest stage, Wrestle Kingdom, that writes money to me, baby.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's good. I like that you brought up a potential Wrestle Kingdom match. It's the last thing I want to do. I know we've slightly overrun on the time we wanted to hit.
Then now forever, baby. We're always overrunning.
We always spend a lot of we have to give the Golden Gardens their time, and there's a lot to get into in Stardom. But I want to briefly touch on the direction for Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit on the podcast before. As we move closer, and obviously we've got Destruction coming up, there's been a big injury with one name who we all expected to be towards the top end of Wrestle Kingdom after a good G1, like you mentioned. Yuya Uemura is going to be out of action for 6 months after that shoulder injury in the G1. Maybe looking at a slightly different situation, and of course we have the big match between Zack Sabre Jr. Tetsuya Naito coming up. A lot of people expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to win that title. Well, I've seen a bit of rumblings of doubt among certain faces in recent weeks. People not so sure that Zack Sabre Jr. is going to get the job done. I still think he will. I think it's New Japan pulling the plug on Naito because he ain't got it at the level anymore, unfortunately. But it is very interesting. So we'll kick it off with the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Scott, if you have to make a prediction right now, what do you think the World Championship match will be at Wrestle Kingdom? And if it's not what you would like, what would you think? What do you think it should be?
Oh boy, so I had thought Yu Uemura was coming back around, and he's now ruled out. He will not be back in time for that show for New Japan. So you look at the roster, you look at who they're pushing, who they want to push, and I think Zack Sabre Jr. is my lock of the match. I do think he goes in as champion. It's from there. Who do they want to put in the moment to potentially crown? Please don't be Shota Umino. For the love of God, don't be Shota Umino. I think they know that would not work by now, but we'll see. I could see the rematch. Him and Tsuji one more time. I feel like that is definitely a potential main event they go for now that the situations have played out. Unless they want to shock us with making a brand new big star, I do think it will be Zack and Tsuji in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you in there, but the doubt that's creeped in over this Zack Sabre Jr. thing has presented an interesting prospect. Because whilst I still pretty much expect Zack to win this match, they're also teasing something with Naito that would be an out of left field Wrestle Kingdom main event. I don't think they're gonna do, but I like the sound of it, and I think if Naito wins the match with Zack Sabre Jr., who could his challenger be at Wrestle Kingdom? I think Hiromu Takahashi could be his challenger at Wrestle Kingdom. What if they finally do it? They've teased in this match, this singles match between the pair. I think this is a potential route. I don't think it's what's going to happen. I won't place any bets. I think Zack wins, and I think we get the Tsuji rematch. I'm just throwing it out there because I'm not 100 on Zack just yet. I'm trying to imagine where their heads are at with this world title scene. But I think we're in agreement on Zack Sabre Jr. making it to the Dome, and I think Yota Tsuji is who he faces. But I'm not entirely sure because I think Yota Tsuji is also in contention for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship match with David Finlay. I would not be surprised to see them run that one back. I'm not too sure who else would be in contention for that Global Heavyweight Championship. I assume David Finlay holds it until Wrestle Kingdom. But I think Tsuji is a potential challenger. Scott, do you have any ideas on who else could be in the mix for that white belt in New Japan? If it's not a Yota Tsuji.
Can we push Bolton Oleg?
I would never say no. I would never say no.
I would love to push Bolton Oleg into that spot. Truthfully, I think going with him is something they should heavily consider. Again, I guess Shota Umino could be considered as well. If they want to keep going with their young guys. But I'd love to get Bolton Oleg rolling as soon as possible. I know AEW is going to be the day after, so I don't think they're going to bring in someone for a David Finlay match necessarily, but I keep them in the back of my mind at least.
Yeah, I would definitely never say no to a Bolton Oleg match. I think he may also end up doing something with Tanahashi and the gang potentially on the card, so that might take him out of contention there. But if it's not a Tsuji, I'm not entirely sure who it is facing David Finlay, so I think it's not out of the realms of possibility that they pick out one of the young guys, throw him in there. Whether they just throw that bone to Shota Umino and just have Finlay retain, who knows? It feels like something they could just give Shota on the night. Maybe they even let him win it. I don't know what their thoughts are on the fella at the moment. It's been an interesting time for Shota. But yeah, we don't have to go through the entirety of the remainder of the card. But looking at the kind of other big hitters, I like that we mentioned the Never Openweight Championship. I think you made a pitch not too long ago with Shingo Takagi winning that Never Openweight Championship match, and I'm liking the sound of this Ryohei Oiwa business. I think that's a Wrestle Kingdom match I can sink my teeth into. That's a Wrestle Kingdom match that means something to me. I think that's one for the people, and I think that's one we could potentially get if depending on where they kind of slot Oiwa in. But if they're as high on him as I expect them to be, and he comes back, I think that is certainly one we could be getting. Are there any other outside shouts you wanna throw out there for Wrestle Kingdom? I know we're still a few months away,
Yeah.
but we're getting nearer and nearer as the days go by to some matches sort of presenting themselves. Anything that you think is something that New Japan should be running?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna need a big showcase match. They have one every year, right? A big special
Hmm.
singles. We had Okada and Danielson this year, Osprey and Omega the year before that. Um, I think they're gonna want to get one on here. So I look at you, Konosuke Takeshita.
Me?
I look at you. Yeah, it's gonna be Jamie Ross versus Konosuke Takeshita. One-on-one in the dome. Who says no? Who says no?
Oh,
You kidding me?
could
I
make some magic in the dome. Me and
I think
Takeshita.
that's I think that's a person you consider bringing in
Hmm.
and putting in a big time match. I don't necessarily know against who. Maybe you just do Naito and him. If Naito's
Hmm.
not in the world title picture, you're still gonna get Naito in a big match because
Yeah.
it's the dome. So I think that's a potential match. Or borrow from more of the AEW bag. Obviously, they're going to be there the day after. You can put. Well, there's a lot of AEW wrestlers that probably don't need to be in big feature matches on
Hmm.
the Wrestle Dynasty show, so you can put them there. I mean, are they going to be able to hold off from Kazuchika Okada if the offer's out there? I don't think so. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
think
think it's
definitely a big singles match is definitely on the cards, and I'd never say no to more Takeshita in New Japan Pro Wrestling because that also
That's
that
his
meant something
actual
to me.
home that I
Yeah,
decided. Like, that's where he
yeah,
would fit best. Sorry to
yeah. It
DDT,
felt
sorry to
right.
AEW.
Felt right. There was no Don Callis lurking around. There was just
No.
Takeshita. Hitting people hard, winning matches. It's what you love to see. Well, I think that's going to do it for the New Japan talk. For now, we'll be back whenever we're next back. We'll definitely be. I think at the time of talking right now, I think the next show will likely be shortly after the Marigold Dream Star Grand Prix finals, which will also allow us to touch on everything that happened at Destruction in Kobe. So we'll keep you posted on all things Stardom, Marigold, New Japan, and whatever else. But it's time for the final segment of the show, as we always do. Let me pull up
Yeah.
the official
Yeah.
image. Where the hell is it gone? Here it is.
Oh, no.
It's that time, people. It's time for the Gold Star Grapplers of the Week. Yes, for the third time, we are back with gimmick infringement. This is Gold Star Grapplers of the Week. We do not have 6-star in the building. And as I check right now, 6-star. Oh, here we go. Update. 6-star has given us the Gold Star Grappler. So we have a full slate. We always start with 6-star. 6 is in here to present. So I will do it myself. 6-star's Gold Star Grappler this week is the World of Stardom champion. Still the World of Stardom champion after her match against Micah. It is Tam Nakano. A big shock. 6 did not go with Natsboy after a successful white belt defense. Not too sure how I feel about it. The brand is potentially crumbling as we speak. But, it's a close 1 and 2 there with the Cosmic Angel, the Melty appearance, so it's not too shocking. But Tam Nakano, I think, is a fine choice for this week. Scott, who is your Gold Star Grappler as we close out this episode?
There's a great list to pick from here. And I can be very picky with mine. I go into the history of the Gold Star grapplers and kind of who have I trended towards, who has been my main go-tos. I think 6-star didn't pick Poi, by the way, because Poi was the last or episode 1, maybe try to leave some space there. I picked my Sakurai, I picked Chiaki. I'm gonna get away from the Marigold picks, though. I want to. Trust me, I want
Mm-hmm.
to. I'm looking at Nori, and I'm just like, I feel like I should be picking you, but I talked someone up as the hate ace today.
Oh,
I'm gonna
here we
go
go.
with Rena. Rena is my Gold Star Grappler of the Week. Listen, she embodies hate. She is the hate. The hate ace. She is the leader of the young haters. She is the best hater of them all, except for Jamie, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Rina. I think she had a really good week in preview matches with Aya Sakura, which I think is, takes it a long way. And I just kind of want to praise her overall because I think she's had a great year. And I think she's rolling into, kind of a great end to her eventual title run, whenever that might be. So shout out to Rina. That's my Gold Star Grappler of the week.
I love it. Excellent pick. Certainly a deserved one this week. And I would not be surprised if Rina wins the Gold Star Grappler of the Week many more times in the future. It certainly would not shock me at all. My Gold Star Grappler this week, and again, like you said, there's plenty of candidates this week. People have been, looking at obviously from the Stardom show, Marigold. I'm actually gonna dip into Pro Wrestling Noah right now. A little bit outside shout, because there was a show today, and I mentioned earlier that I did not catch the main event of Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ryohei Oiwa. However, what I did catch, I liked a lot, and that was Manabu Soya defeating Ulka Sasaki for the GHC National Championship. And I absolutely love Manabu Soya, but he is not my Gold Star Grappler of the Week. My Gold Star Grappler of the Week is Ulka Sasaki. This guy's been wrestling for about 9 months, right? He's an MMA fighter. He's not, he's very, very, very new. But Noah, they gave him the GHC National Championship. It was a bold move. I like his look, but he's still rough around the edges in the ring. And obviously, Manabu Soya was the kind of leader of this match here. But he held his own, and I love the wrestler that he's very, very quickly becoming. He brings that shoot style, but he can get away with it because he is a real killer. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to be anything he's not. He's the real deal in the ring. And I'm a big fan of Ulka Sasaki. I also could have gone with Soya. I love Soya. I love to see him having a belt. He's also got abs now. It's crazy. He just appeared with them one day, and it was shocking. But yeah, Ulka Sasaki is my Gold Star Grappler this week. I've dipped into Noah. An interesting turn of events. We now need to choose a collective Gold Star Grappler, and this is interesting because we only have 2 out of the 3 of us here. We've done no prior deliberation on this pick, so this is live negotiation.
I've had one in my heart that I think you can agree with here, and I might have called her the greatest wonder of Stardom title match wrestler of all time earlier.
Whoa.
And she may come up short every single time
without fail,
but damn it, she puts on the match of the night every single time she gets the chance.
I cannot agree at all. I think, of course, talking about Hazuki here, Hazuki is our collective Gold Star Grappler today. I don't think there could have been a better pick. There's lots of contenders this week we didn't mention.
Eat your heart out, boy.
When we look at that lineup,
no baby white road today, buddy.
Yeah, baby white. Yeah, we're gonna keep you guys updated on the happenings as we continue to walk the baby white road in the near future. But our Gold Star Grapplers this week, to recap: Tam Nakano, we have the Hate Ace Rina, we have former GHC National Champion Ulka Sasaki, and the collective is unsuccessful white belt challenger forever Hazuki. That rounds out episode 3 of the Gold Star podcast. Thank you as always for joining us. If you haven't already done, like the video, subscribe to Wrestle Purist. When we end the video, if you could leave a comment, because it helps the algorithm, I am told by the people upstairs at Wrestle Purist Titan Towers. And to close out, follow me at Jamie Ross WP on Twitter. Go follow Wrestle Purist, and also follow Scott E Wrestling on Twitter. Scott, any other plugs as we round out today's episode? What are you working on? What you got coming up in the near future?
Yeah, Monday, Fightful's YouTube channel. Me and Xena talking for 43 minutes.
That's the real.
Talking about the chops. Lots of chops. Lots of chop talk. Talking shop, talking chops, really good interview. She's awesome. So definitely check that out. And if you want to hear my continued Dreamstar Grand Prix coverage, that's over on youtube.com/@ScottEWrestling. I do every single day. I do a review. Got to get up day 3 still, but that should be up sometime tonight probably. So thank you everybody for listening today. Love doing this, and looking forward to the next time we ride again, hopefully with 6 Star.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's been a bumpy road with 6 Star, disciplinary committee, backstage brawls, and impersonations of famous luchadors. But, hopefully by the next time we're here, everything is ironed out and we can have the full lineup here. But I think we've done pretty all right once again, with the two of us. So, one last time for me and for Scott, thank you guys for watching the Gold Star podcast. We'll see you all again very soon.